Hello and welcome to World Talks here on TVP World with me, Ashim Kumar. The Czech Republic faces a political turning point following Andrej Babiš's election victory. The country is heading towards a possible minority government, while Prime Minister Petr Fiala has announced he will not seek re-election as party leader. President Petr Pavel insists on keeping Prague firmly anchored in NATO and the EU. At the same time, a record number of women, over one-third of all MPs, will take seats in Parliament for the first time in history. Well, to talk us what the implications are of all of these things, we're joined by Filip Nerad. He's Director of Communications and Marketing at Globsec. Filip, welcome to TVP World and thank you very much for taking the time.
Good evening from Prague.
Good evening. So, what do these results tell you? Let's take an overview here. What do they tell you about the mood of voters in the Czech Republic?
It tells that most of the voters were unsatisfied with current government and want change. And this change should be new government composed from the strongest party, ANO, of former Prime Minister and very possibly the future Prime Minister Andrej Babiš, and two smaller parties, the Motorists and SPD. Together, these parties are able to build majority. The coalition talks are underway, and it seems very probable that they will be able to find an agreement.
OK, I'll come to the coalition talks in just a second. But before we do that, were they dissatisfied with the previous government? I mean, you know, economically, things were going well, inflation was under control and so on. What was the problem?
Problem were costs. Everything's got more and more expensive in recent years. Energy prices, food prices, and so on. And a lot of people and the, let's say, ANO and other opposition parties promise voters that they will lower down the prices, higher up wages, and so on. So they promised them, let's say, better economic future that the current government was not able to give them in the recent years. So it was very, very easily the wallet decided this election.
Understand. How realistic is it that ANO will be able to live up to its electoral promises, especially considering that it is going to be forming a coalition if when it comes into power?
Well, the ANO will be the strongest party in this government, so she will have all the tools to do it. But the problem is that these promises were so huge and overwhelming, and it covers everything from higher wages, low down prices, cutting taxes, lowering or cancelling the pension reform and lowering down the retirement age. So very costly reforms that most of the experts agree that it will be very hard to fulfill, even maybe impossible.
Right. So we shall see whether or not they're going to be able to live up to those promises and what the Czech voting public thinks of their performance. In terms of foreign policy, in particular foreign policy towards Ukraine, what do you make of the new Prime Minister in waiting's approach to that?
Well, he said it very clearly now this day, and he repeats what he said during the whole campaign, that his future government won't give no money from the government budget for supporting Ukraine. He said that Czech Republic gives a lot of money to the EU that supports Ukraine, so the support of Ukraine should go through the EU and their money, and not from the Czech budget. The money from the Czech budget should go only for the Czech people. But he has nothing against the ammunition companies should or may deliver weapons or ammunition to the Ukraine. So we can say that there's a, let's say, Slovakian scenario here, very probable that the government won't support Ukraine itself, but it gives free hand to the ammunition companies to deliver weapons to Ukraine on the let's say on the business way, as the Slovakian companies are doing it.
Right, but Slovakia has become a little bit more pro-Ukraine recently. Prime Minister Fico is indicating that, and more pro-EU in terms of where it sources its energy from. It's signed deals with the US, for example, as well, for nuclear power stations. Do you find that a little ironic that Slovakia is kind of turning direction towards the EU, NATO and Ukraine, and the Czech Republic is doing the reverse?
I wouldn't say that the Czech Republic will do something different. I would say in the European or transatlantic orientation, there will be no change with the new government. Prime Minister Babiš, his party, and possible coalition allies confirm it that they would like to stay, or they want to stay in the EU, in NATO, and that there should be no change in this orientation. What should change is this support for Ukraine, that very probable new government doesn't want to support Ukraine from the Czech budget, but it has nothing against support from, let's say, another channels. So that's the main difference. The current government was very well known because of this ammunition initiative, which support Ukraine with ammunition from all over the world. The new government is not ready to do it, is not ready to spend money on Ukraine from the Czech budget, but otherwise there should be not such a big change in the, let's say, foreign policy orientation.
Okay, let's move on now to the coalition, Filip. Tell me about who the coalition partners are most likely to be and what their domestic and foreign policy stances are.
Well, these two smaller parties are SPD, which is a extreme right or far right party, very nationalistic, anti-EU and anti-NATO oriented, but it has during the election campaign it supported referendum on the membership in EU and NATO, but currently they gave up these plans because the rest two parties are absolutely against it. Now we can see the chairman of this party, Tomio Okamura, on the screen. The second party are called Motorists. It's a brand new party which compose many politicians close to the former Czech president Václav Klaus. It's a conservative right-wing party, as the same as the ANO of Andrej Babiš. It's a part of the Patriots for Europe group in the European Parliament. So again, let's say nationalistic, Euro-critic party. So that's something that that is common for all these three parties. They support, let's say, nationalistic politics. They are very Euro-critic. They are totally against Green Deal or Migration Pact, these big European initiatives that current European Commission, or let's say general European Union is working with. So they are totally opposite, and they are big critics of these steps. So that gives us a hint how the future, let's say, EU politics of this new Czech government should look like. So it will be, let's say, more critical towards EU, not so, let's say, supportive of Ukraine. And all these three parties want to let's say, to relive again the Visegrad 4. They want to cooperate more with Slovakia, Hungary, and Poland, which in case of Slovakia and Hungary is very probable that it will happen. And it's not so obvious in the case of Polish government.
Okay.
But at least they are speaking about this.
In the last minute that we have left, Filip, President Pavel has said that he is going to not allow any move away from EU and NATO commitments. Do you see a potential conflict there between the government and the president?
In this thing, no, because Andrej Babiš and all the parties confirmed that they want to stay on this European and NATO path and don't want to move from this. So I think in this way President could be satisfied with all their promises. There won't be no much change in this.
Okay, and very, very quickly, in the last few seconds, how about the relationship between the Czech Republic and the EU going forward? Any particular obstacles you see coming up?
As I said, more critics towards EU, maybe some blocking of European initiatives. But on the other hand, new prime minister is very pragmatic and transactional politician. So there will be some possibilities to find an agreement even with him.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Filip Nerad, and for your analysis for our audience. Have a good evening, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Brings us to the end of this episode of World Talks. Don't go away, though. As always, lots more coming up. Goodbye.